Wake up, everyone. The new Windows 11 feature update just dropped, and there are a lot of new things worth talking about. So we can start off with the feature that is being promoted the most by Microsoft, and that is the Copilot preview. You'll see a new icon show up in the taskbar. You can turn it off. When you click it, you'll see the same thing that you would on the Bing Chat website, so you can ask it stuff it uses. GPT-4 on the back end, and also it can do some basic stuff like changing to dark mode if you ask it to. But that's not really any more convenient than just searching the settings for it. Also, it can apparently integrate into some apps like Outlook to help with summarizing emails and stuff. Fortunately, it's a bit more than just a wrapper for the Bing Chat website. It does integrate a little bit. For example, if you use the snipping tool while the thing is open, it will automatically catch that from the clipboard and ask if you want to send it and analyze it and see what's in there. So it's kind of cool. You can analyze images and stuff. Now, the next new feature is one that a lot of people have been waiting for, and that is native support for all sorts of file archives, not just zip files. It now supports all these, such as 7 zip files, Raphael's tar-gs, tarball files. And you can see here if there is, for example, a tata.gc file. It can extract just fine, though. Next up, we have a new feature for Notepad, which is now, even if you close it, it will still keep your session open. So if you have a bunch of new tabs open, you close it. It will reopen them when you open the Notepad back up. So this is really useful if you don't really necessarily want to save a bunch of text files, but you still want to take some notes on something. It's a little bit safer to do so in Notepad. Also, there are some major new features in the Paint app, and that is that it supports transparency and it has layers. Now you can see how I open up the image, and then I can create a new layer on top of it, scribble on it, and then hide that if I want. So it doesn't mess with the base image pane, even also as a new feature to automatically remove the background of an image again using AI. And I found it to be pretty decent for what it is. Also, those signed up for the Windows Insider program will also get a new version of Paint that has something called Co-Creator, which will allow it to generate images that you type in. So that's really cool. It basically used the Bing image generator. But yeah, Paint is getting an upgrade. But not to be outdone by the snipping tool, which is also getting some new features. Now, if you take a screenshot that has text in it, you can press this Text Actions button, and it will use optical character recognition, and I think some AI to analyze the text and let you select it with the cursor, and then you can copy it from there. So this is a really cool way to natively in Windows get text from an image. Also, in the update blog, it mentioned that you're supposed to be able to now record your microphone with the video screen recording mode and snipping tool. The File Explorer has also gotten some updates. They say it's been modernized. One new thing you'll notice is the gallery option, which I think pretty much just shows recent photos and stuff similar to what the Photos app is going to do. But one cool new little thing is you can finally now drag tabs from one File Explorer window onto another. I guess you couldn't do that before, but now you can. Also, there's an option for a new details pane that will show up when you select a file. Before it was just a preview pane, but now you can have it. Show more info, not just the image or whatever. Next up, there is a new Windows backup app that seems to be just for if you're like moving to a new PC or something. Moving on, the narrator feature now has more natural voices. So now, if you go in search for the narrator feature, it will probably show you this thing and give you the option to download these new voices, and then you'll have the option to use them. Next up, there are some new features in the volume mixer. So if you go to the system tray, click that and then click this thing. Now it'll show you all the sound devices, and if you scroll down to the bottom, it shows any currently running programs that have sound playing, and you can individually adjust the volume of all those. There's also an option to enable spatial audio for Windows, which I think is some kind of like virtual surround sound. If you have headphones, I probably wouldn't turn this on unless you're like watching a movie or something, because again, it might manipulate how the audio sounds, but still kind of cool that you can relatively easily find that if you didn't even know that was a feature before moving on, Microsoft is releasing a new program Outlook for Windows, which is free, and it seems to be kind of like a replacement for the Windows Mail app, and all sort of like the Microsoft 365 full-blown Outlook, full-blown. So I don't know if it has all those features, but it's free at least, so it gets you closer to that. So now let's move on and talk about some new settings options. Some of these are really cool. First of all, when you go into the settings, you'll notice that there is a new look to it. It shows some recent and suggested settings. It'll show you personalization, that kind of thing. But one really new cool settings is the option to add the End Task button when you right-click a program on the taskbar. And to do this, you go into Settings, and then System, and then for Developers, and then Enable and Task. Just be careful when you use this, because it doesn't seem to give any kind of confirmation. So, unlike if you just closed a program and you were working on something, it will remind you, hey, do you want to save this before you close it? If you just hit the button, you're not going to have an option to do that. Next up, a really cool feature that a lot of people have been waiting for is dynamic lighting, which now lets you natively support RGB lighting for your computer. You can find this under Personalization, a little bit more customization options for taskbar. Now, you have the option to not show the date and time in the date and time settings. Never combine objects in the taskbar, so it'll always show each window as a separate thing. You can find that under taskbar behavior settings, and also you can set that separately for secondary monitors if you want. And also, a little change is, now notifications will show as a bell that's filled in the taskbar bottom right. First of all, the new update now uses the fluent emojis that Microsoft has. So they're kind of like 3D looking, they're kind of cool. And also, you can now go into the apps list and uninstall Cortana if you've been waiting to do that more easily. Finally, there's a few business-oriented features that I can mention. You can now set it so Windows can log into a business account with no passwords at all. So using Windows Hello, using some method or another feature. Now, if you have employees using a cloud Windows PC, you can now have it boot directly into that using the Windows 365 PC thing. And also, if you're now using a cloud PC, you can basically use the same way to switch between that like you will a virtual desktop. So it's a bit more seamless. If there is any new update to this, I will make a video about that. So be sure to subscribe for that. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. What is your favorite new feature? And if I missed any, let me know in the comments. And of course, if you like the video again, be sure to like it. It always helps out with the YouTube algorithm if you want to keep watching. Pals, subscribe to the channel for more exciting videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you the next one.